Hey everybody, Josh here. It's a nice, beautiful, sunny day. The bees are out flying, that's for sure. So if you watched my previous video, you saw where I've got at least 3 colonies that are really low on food stores. So the game plan today is to put some 1-to-1 sugar syrup on these hives. Now, let's see, I just mixed up a fresh batch of 1-to-1 sugar syrup, and I put a couple of teaspoons of that Hive Alive liquid in there for them as well, because these colonies went through their fondant, or at least most of the Hive Alive fondant. And right now, this time of year, you know, early March, mid-March, you want to feed 1-to-1 because that promotes brood rearing. That will stimulate wax production if they need to build comb inside the hive. If there's just foundation, they need to add some comb. And it also stimulates the queen in terms of laying. Now, here's the secret though. Here's an important point to remember. Once you start feeding 1-to-1 syrup, you cannot stop until the flow starts, because you will risk starving out that colony, because you've essentially fooled them into believing that the flow is on. But obviously we're doing this because we don't want the poor girls to starve, right? So because there wasn't a whole lot of food in there. There was a little bit of food, but there wasn't a whole lot of food, not nearly enough to get them through this March, April timeframe when starvation is at its max. And so you can see I don't know if you can see from here, but there's a lot of activity at the front of these colonies here. Some more than others. These are the 2 that I checked yesterday that I need to get some feed on, but a lot of activity at the front of these colonies here. So yeah, I went ahead and I lit the smoker. So I've got that ready. I've got the syrup out here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put those rapid feeders on, which is what I use to feed small amount of sugar syrup. I don't need to put those top feeders on that holds, like 3 gallons of syrup. That's for the fall time frame when we're feeding 2-to-1, and we need to put a lot of weight on these colonies. So right now, we're just trying to keep these girls from starving until the flow starts. That's the important thing. Pro tip that a lot of people don't know: almost every package of sugar has the correct 1-to-1 mixing ratio on it. A lot of people don't know this. Very common question with brand new beekeepers is, well, how do I know exactly what 1-to-1 is? What's 1 pound of water to 1 pound of sugar? So if you go to Walmart or any of these big stores and you pick up their 10-pound bag, you will see 10 pounds in the bottom, and then in parentheses next to it, you will see kilograms. For a 10-pound bag, I think it's like 4.5 kilograms. Well, 1 kilogram is 1 liter by definition. And so what that is telling you is 10 pounds of sugar needs 4.5 liters of water. And 4.5 liters of water is exactly 10 pounds of water. So no matter which size bag you get, the 25-pound bag, the 10-pound bag, the 4-pound bag, whatever is in parentheses next to the pounds, that's how many liters of water you need to make it 1-to-1. And if you want to do 2-to-1, just cut what's in parentheses in half as much water. So there's a little tip for you. A lot of people don't know that. So it takes the math out of it. It's super simple. So like I said, I just mixed up some 1-to-1. We're going to get in these 3 colonies quickly. 2 of these colonies have unmarked queens in it. I've got my red pen with me. I'm going to go ahead and try to quickly find the queen. And if I spot her, I'm going to go ahead and put a red dot on her, because obviously it's too early in the year to have a freshly mated queen. There's no drones out. So clearly these queens are from 2023. So they're going to get a red dot and not a green dot. Now, later on in the year, if you find a new queen, there's a chance that it could be a 2024 queen. So you may want to give her a green dot, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So clearly these queens are from late queens from last year. So good queens though, they're young. They're less than a year old. So, all right, let's go ahead and get in these 3 colonies and let's get that sugar syrup on them. All right, let's get into this first one here. And if I remember correctly, this one had a marked queen in it. So I'm not going to go hunting for her. I don't think I need to. Lots of good foraging activity today. It's beautiful out here. All right. Awesome. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. I just wanted to check something real quick, but we need to put this cover right back on. All right. Put our rapid feeder on here. And I'll put a link to these in the description. If you've watched my other videos, you've seen me use these. These are kind of my go-to for syrup feeding, small amount. Again, I've said before, on Amazon, they're called hummingbird feeders, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Okay. Got my 1-to-1 here. There we go. Make sure it's not airtight, comes out quicker that way. It's a little dark because I had a little bit of leftover pollen substitute in some sugar, so I just put it all together. What the heck. This time of year, they certainly won't mind it. Okay, and like I said, this has that Hive Alive liquid in it. Just a teaspoon per gallon is all you need. You know, typically I like to dribble a little bit in here so that the bees know. Well, I'll tell you, I don't want to lift that because I can't see the bottom of it, and I want those holes to stay aligned. They'll find it, trust me. So I'll put this empty super on top of it, and then I generally place a light brick just to keep this weighted down, and that's it. That's how easy it is to give them some extra food. All right, let's move on to the next one and see if we can find those unmarked queens. All right, we had a issue with the camera on the last two hives. I know I was going to tell you whether I could find the queen or not. I ended up finding the queen, and I marked both of them, but long story short, I ran out of space on the camera, so lost that footage. But we're moving on. We're going down the rest of the line here, so we're on to the next 4 colonies. So I've got the 3 done. So the 3 in the previous video that were really short on food, they're doing good now. I've got 1-to-1 sugar syrup on those colonies, and they're sucking it down. I just checked on them. So these next colonies, I'm gonna go ahead and check and see where they're at. I think this colony is pretty high in population. It's one of my more, I don't know, populated colonies just based off the entrance activity. So I pulled the quilt box off here. And we've got lots of nectar. So look at that. So, wow. And there's only 1 drone there, so there's not much drone brood here. This is mostly where the bees are foraging and bringing in nectar. And you can tell it's nectar because look, it's running out. So it's dripping from the top here. I'm looking for the queen, but it's very unlikely that she's here. No. Oh, what a mess. So one of the downsides with the Vivaldi boards as far as bee spacing is there's a little too much spacing between the top of this, or I'm sorry, well, whatever, the bottom or the top of this. The distance between this and the top of the frames is a little too large. And that's why you're seeing this. So they are, oh goodness. Got all this fresh nectar. You can see it here. It's still dripping out, so, and I can't help it. I'm gonna taste it. Hang on, let me prop the bee. See how it's dripping out? That's how you know it's fresh nectar, because it's just running out of the comb there. And I wanna see what this tastes like. So see how runny that is? Let's see what it tastes like though. Light, sweet. It doesn't have that, what I consider almost like a strong, rich flavor on the back of the tongue. This stuff is very sweet forward on the front of the palate. This would be great on some toast or a biscuit. Really good stuff. So, that's gonna be your maple. What else? It'd be, what else is blooming right now? I think redbud has not popped up yet, so I'm thinking this is majority maple, honestly. Elm. Yeah, thanks, Dad. Elm. You wanna try some, Dad?
Sure.
It's pretty thin, obviously, because it's nectar. It's not really honey. Tell me what you think, Dad. That's good.
That's good.
But yeah, we clearly have a mess on our hands here. So what I plan to do, I'm gonna smoke the bees off here. I'm gonna scrape this. This colony is obviously packed, and so quite honestly, they need split, because here, come on in, Dad, you're fine. If you look in here, it's 10 seams of bees. I mean, they're wall to wall here, so this colony is going to swarm at any time. Oh, my hands are all sticky now. I have to pull frames because I have to see if there's queen cells, and I suspect there may be in this colony. We may have some queen cells at the very bottom of these frames. I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, well, I'm gonna shake all the bees off here. I don't have to scrape this. I can do it back in the shop. But to the extent possible, I'm gonna leave them this food on the colony. But this colony, unlike the other three, they're nowhere near starving. They have an abundance of food, all right? So what I need to see though is, number one, are they queen right? Which I suspect they are. But how many frames of brood, how many frames of food, and are there queen cells? Because if this colony is getting ready to swarm, I'm gonna go ahead and split them now, even though it's a little too early to be doing that. There's not enough drones in there. I don't see a single drone looking right now. So, but the good news is it takes 16 days from an egg to hatching for a queen to emerge, right? So that gives me a little over 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from now, do I think there's gonna be drones out there? Yeah, I do. I've seen drones in other colonies here, but I wanna see if there's drone brood in here that's getting ready to emerge as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and zip back up here and shake these bees down. This colony is stuffed. They're doing very well. All right, sorry about that. My dad, for rightful reasons, wanted to get out of the way before I shake these bees off. So I'm gonna go ahead and shake them down in here. Try to get them off this. Jeez. Well, this colony is in zero danger of starving, so Go ahead and set them to the side here. I think, decisions. I think, try to smoke the bees off here. We only have a few drones here. I don't see any varroa mites, so that's positive. I've got to clean these frames up. I don't think there's any shortage of food below there. I just hate taking all this nectar away from the colony because there's a lot of it. I set it to the side here. It's a shame, but I just, you know, they're out of space. They're out of space is what's going on here. So this colony needs supers. Like yesterday, like a week ago is what they need. So I am going to give them some supers. And I'm going to put 2 supers on is what I'm going to do, because this colony is just kicking butt and taking names. They're already bringing in a lot of nectar. You just can't leave frames like this, because it's just going to create a mess is what it's going to do. And I hate doing this, but it is what it is. So I know I looked at this colony earlier, and in hindsight, I should have supered them up sooner is what I should have done. My fault. You know, I still make plenty of mistakes. I am not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and I will admit that freely. Okay, so now that I've got all that off, let's go ahead and pull a few frames here and see what we're looking at. I know they're queen right. I know there's a metric ton of food in this colony. Oh, let's see if I can get some leaves here to wipe off the syrup off the hive tool, because it's pretty sticky. Okay, bear with me just a second here. Dad, give me some more water. All right. Beekeeping is sticky business. All right. Let's pull this first frame here. Oh, they're a little angry. I don't blame them. I've had them open for a little while here. All right, let's see. Oh, goodness. Look at all that nectar. And I see drones in here too. That is such a great sign. Such a great sign. Drones. Okay. I bet this colony is so full of brood. They're gonna swarm on me. Look at all this food. Oh my God. Oh, jeez. This is so heavy. Lots of drones. Look at that. I gotta split this colony. I mean, if I don't see queen cells in here, I'm splitting them. 100%. That frame right there probably weighs 7 pounds. Easily. And look how gentle these bees are. I mean, I know they're a little angry right now, but come on. Bee bread, pollen. I'd love to find the queen because she's a rock star. Holy cow. Look at this colony. Nectar, nectar. That's fresh honey right there at the top. Gosh. What an awesome hive. Awesome, awesome, awesome hive. Watch out, watch out, watch out. I got one angry bee here. She wants me to go away. There's your brood frame. If I remember correctly, you know, when we looked at this colony last time, there's a red dot queen in here, right? You guys watched that previous video, if I remember correctly. Nice, very nice brood frame. Eggs, larva, pupa. Very nice. She could be on this frame, but I'm really not worried about finding her. I see plenty of drones. This queen is just doing awesome. Colony's doing awesome. They're ready to be split, quite honestly. So, with that said, I'll pull one more frame here. I don't see any swarm cells yet, but it's coming, folks. This colony is very close to swarming. Well, I say very close. I mean, it's not like they're building queen cups yet, but anytime. Anytime. Good brood pattern. Again, here's your drone brood right here, okay? These drones will emerge soon. Oh wow, look at that. More drones right here. This is all worker brood. And I don't see the queen, but I know she's in here. And I know she's doing great. Yep. Larvae and cells here. I mean, she's backfilling like crazy. I mean, the population of this colony, they're already stuffed, right? They're gonna explode. I'd really like to find the queen because I'll keep her in here. And then I'll split them. Of course, I don't have my resource hive out here yet. Like I said I was going to, so I'm gonna stand up because my back's hurting. And this frame is full of brood. Gosh, I wonder where she is. But what is there, like 5, 6 frames of capped brood that's about to emerge? I mean, the population of this colony, and I see drones. Yeah, they're gonna explode in numbers. I really should pause the video here and go get either that resource hive, because I'm really loving these genetic. Ow, she just stung me. So if you get stung, and I got one bee angry at me here. So she stung me on my fingertip here. Focus, focus. So what you want to do is, and she's probably gonna sting me too because she smells that, but you don't want to squeeze, because that is the venom sac right there on the top. You don't want to squeeze that and pull out because it's going to inject more venom into you. So what you want to do is you want to take your hive tool and you want to scrape it like that. And what that will do is pull that stinger, focus, out. So I don't know if the camera's going to show that, but I've got it out now. Do you see that? See the stinger right there? And that's the venom sac on the end of it. And so even after that, she's gonna die, the worker that stung me. So even after that, it will sit there and pulse and pump that venom through the stinger into you. And so you wanna try to remove it as quickly as possible. And so obviously I didn't get it pulled out as quickly, but if you have your hive tool, I don't know, like you'd have a credit card on you, but anything flat, you want to scrape it and push it out. You do not want, your instinct is to grab it and pull, but if you do that, you're going to squeeze that venom sac and squeeze all that venom into you and then pull the stinger out. You don't want to do that. Focus. So here it is. Yeah. So she got me there. Anyway, it's probably the most common question I get asked from people that aren't beekeepers is, number one, do you get stung? Of course, obviously. Number two, from brand new beekeepers, what do you do when you get stung? That's how you remove a stinger. Do not squeeze and pull. You want to scrape it out sideways. Public service announcement. Always have an EpiPen or epinephrine somewhere close by. My son has a peanut allergy, so we always have EpiPens in the house, because even if you're not allergic to bee stings, you could become allergic at any point in time. So you should always have at least 2 EpiPens nearby in case you get stung. So the other thing you want to do is that alarm pheromone that she emits, you're going to want to mask that. So hang on, let me get my smoker going here again. Okay, so immediately after you get stung, go ahead and smoke your fingers or wherever it was that you got stung, because that will help. Why is my guinea over here? Hey, I'm recording a video here. Can you be quiet? Guess that's a no. So, smoke your fingers, which helps to mask that alarm pheromone. Okay, so back to work. Pull this frame, looking good. I see a lot of drones in this colony. I know I've said that already. What an amazing brood pattern. Thought she was gonna light me up too. So, oh, the other question I get asked is, you know, does getting stung hurt? Well, yeah, it doesn't feel good, okay, but you get used to it. And the worst part of it, to be honest with you, is the itching afterwards. This finger is going to itch for about 2 days now. And that's what I don't like. So, I don't see the queen. I'm gonna try one more frame. Pretty sure we found her last time anyway. She's a red dot queen. Clearly she's doing amazing, so I'm going to pause this video here in a minute and I'm gonna split this colony, because why not? They're doing great. I just wish I could find her, because then I would know where she is. Nope. I've seen her on these outside frames before, but these should be food frames, to be honest with you. God, there's so much food in this colony. And this is all nectar. She's not on here. Same with that one. She's not there. Okay, well, I'm torn. I kind of want to split this colony, but I have not found the queen yet, so right now I think I'm just going to add 2 supers, because this could end up being a very prolific honey producing hive. So I like her genetics. Relatively calm bees. I know I just got tagged, but that is what it is. It's going to happen. I mean, it happens. Man, they're bringing it in. All right, let's check this frame again. My frame is so heavy. Let's get them back in the colony here. The good news is, folks, I did not find a single, I didn't even find a queen cup, let alone a queen cell. So that's good news. So while they've not started prepping to swarm yet, because if they did, it was probably a foregone conclusion, a lost cause. But they're so full that they are going to swarm very soon. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually, obviously this colony does not need to be fed like the others. I am going to, squashed a few bees here, sorry girls. I am going to get a queen excluder, throw it on top of this right here, and I'm going to put 2 drawn comb honey supers on top of here, and this colony may go absolutely berserk. God willing, fingers crossed, they don't swarm. And if I put 2 supers on, these girls need room ASAP because they are 100% honey bound. That queen is running out of space rapidly to lay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get 2 honey supers on here. What? And I think they'll be good for a while. We'll keep an eye on them. If they end up swarming on me, so be it. But I think that's the plan now. I'd rather do that than go ahead and split them, because quite frankly, I don't have the equipment out here that I'm ready to do a split. My fault, but you can see them all taking the syrup in here. They're just sucking it down. So let's go ahead and get some supers on this colony, and I'll be right back.